What was it when you first read the book? What was it about the story that gripped you?
Well, I mean, that's a good word. It just gripped me. I mean, I think it was the character. She just captured me. She was like a net fell over me. I found her so captivating and beautifully written and familiar and intelligent and funny and so brutally honest. Um, she haunted me. I felt like if there was any way to bring it to screen, I felt like I had to be a part of it. Yeah, I did. I mean, I definitely, it struck a lot of familiar chords in me. There have been a lot of struggles that I've gone through that I think everybody have been very normal struggles that a lot of people have gone through when they were kind of hit their post-adolescence that, that, you know, that I found in her and in the story. Um, and loneliness and confusion and dealing with, big questions that you are first faced with when you kind of come into the world on your own and are faced with these, you know, where do you belong? How do you deal with the world? Is it does what makes sense? What doesn't make sense? Um, does, who should you listen to? Should you listen to follow your own heart? All these questions that you're faced with, and when you realize that there are no real answers, and there is no kind of secret code or password that, and you kind of realize this stuff for the first time, and it's a very lonely and confusing and funny and sad and weird time, and it's just life, and it's very familiar, and it's a time that I think everybody can relate to. It's kind of ridiculous and funny that she ended up in an institution because she saw a doctor for 20 minutes and he put her in an institution for a couple of years. I mean, I think basically if you were just a sensitive person in the 60s and you were a woman, they would lock you up. Um, if your parents didn't want to deal with you, if your parents were annoyed with you, you would get locked up if they had the money to do it. Um, and Nowadays, it's the opposite. They can't lock you up because they don't have the funding. The most they can keep you in for is 21 days, and then you're free to go. They can't keep you for more than 21 days because the government can't afford it. So even if you're schizophrenic or manic depressive or homicidal or suicidal, 21 days is the absolute limit, which is very interesting, the turnaround that's happened in the last 20 years. Um, but yeah, it's really sad that kids would get locked up for that long for absolutely no reason, no real reason, and heavily medicated for those years too. I mean, some of them did need to be um, in the hospital, I'm sure, but some of them absolutely did not. And I don't think Susanna did, and I think she got sort of convinced halfway in her stay there that she didn't need to be there. When you're told you're crazy enough times, you start to believe it.